Hi, I'm Gene McLaughlin. Welcome to Directions 2015. On November 3rd, Old Bridge voters will go to the polls to elect the mayor and 3 council candidates for the council at large positions on the Township Council. Today, our objective is to bring you the candidates, let you hear their views on key issues facing the township, and make you a more informed resident when you go to the polls to vote. I'd like to introduce our Republican candidates today to you, if I may. On my immediate left is Debbie Walker, Anita Greenberg-Belli, and Brian Cahill. And folks, thank you for coming out today. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you, Gene.
If we can begin at the basics, as we've talked many times, the township's changing. The character of the township, the texture of the township, it's growing. There may be some people who may not know you. Even though, Debbie, you've been the president of the council, people may not know you. Would you brief resume, please, what you do when you're not doing this, a little bit personal background, and your prior office?
Sure, Gene. First, thank you for having us here today. I moved to Old Bridge about 28 years ago. I've been married to my husband, Bruce, for 38 years. I have 2 grown children. I've been involved in various volunteer activities such as Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, the PTA, Mid-Madison Women's Club, the Historical Society. My husband, Bruce, is a volunteer fireman with Cheesequake, and that's what led me to an interest in the fire service. And I took my fire marshal and fire official certifications, which led me to run for fire commissioner. I served as a fire commissioner for Cheesequake Fire District 2 for 2 terms of 6 years. At that time, I began attending council meetings, and I saw the direction the town was going was not very good. So I ran for council, and I won in 2011. Now I'm up for my 2nd term.
Okay, well, fantastic. Thank you, Debbie. Anita, if I may ask you the same thing, a little background, a little what you do when you're not running for office, and any civic or political office you've held?
Sure, Gene. And first of all, thank you also for having us.
Problem.
I've been a resident of Old Bridge for 21 years. I've been married to my husband, Dr. Daniel Belli, for 28 years. We are both veterinarians and partners at the East Brunswick Animal Hospital. We're proud parents of our daughter, Marta Belli, who went through the Old Bridge school system, first McDivitt, then Carl Sandburg, and she's a 2014 graduate of Old Bridge High School. I got involved right from the start when I moved into town, working very hard on the open space referendum. In fact, I spearheaded the preservation of a 200-acre tract of land that is now deeded to open space for everyone to enjoy. It would have been a development called Cedar Ridge Phase 2.
Right, I remember.
Oh, yeah. That was very contentious at times. And also, I volunteered my service at the animal shelter. I've served on the planning board. I was served on the EDC, Economic Development. I was the past Republican chair for 8 years. I also am a member of the Historical Society and a commissioner of the Old Bridge MUA at this time.
I think you got them all covered, Anita.
I
Got it all covered. Good job. Okay, Brian, if I may, this is your 3rd try for office, right?
Correct.
Okay, people may not know you, and probably very few. Just a highlight, if you would.
Sure. So I moved here to Old Bridge in 1994. Married, father of 4, and a proud grandfather. Just recently, 2 years old.
Right.
I'm a senior telecommunications director. I have experience managing large organizations, multi-million-dollar budgets. Like you said, I'm a twice elected councilman. Yeah. I served as council president from 2012 to 2013. I'm the council liaison to the ethics board and the recreation board. I served as an executive board member and a coach at Cheesequake Baseball. And I also have taught business concepts to elementary school kids through junior achievement in the Newark and Asbury Park school system.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Very good. Thank you. I appreciate you doing that. If I can go back to you, Debbie. You've been there 4 years. What have you learned? What's the greatest lesson you've learned being on the council, and particularly being council president?
I've learned that we have a lot of things we want to accomplish, and it just takes a little time, but I'm so proud of our accomplishments that we came in with a deficit and we've turned the town around and we're heading in the right direction right now, and I'm very proud of all our accomplishments.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Anita, if I can turn to you. You have spent, as you said, the past 8 years as Republican chairwoman. You've spent a lot of your energy in putting many of these Republican candidates on the council.
Right.
Why are you choosing to run for the council?
Well, everything is timing. And the time seemed to be right at this time. From being involved in the town for so many years. I chose to run at this time really from the support of my daughter and my husband. What happened, my daughter came home on spring break. She mentioned to me I must have a lot of free time because I stepped down as being chair last year and I'm not running around to all her sporting events.
Right.
So she said, you always were involved, you have a passion for it, you like helping people, you like solving problems, you should run. And so I think the best way to do it is if your family supports you, and with encouragement of my daughter and my husband, I decided to step up to the plate.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Okay, great. And Brian, 2 terms, what have you learned? What's the greatest lesson you've learned sitting up there? I mean, I think it's a very tough job to be a council person.
It is. You know, an at-large has a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
We represent the whole town just like the
Right.
mayor does. What I learned is that, you know, government can have an effect on people's lives. And we've had, over the last 4 years in particular, such a tremendous impact on the residents of Old Bridge, whether it's actually having a flat tax rate this year on the municipal side, all the capital improvements we've implemented, all the investment in the
Right.
infrastructure, if you will, between curbing and road development and all the police vehicles. We've just done a tremendous job. So, I mean, the lesson is that, you know, united, and if you have a good plan, a good fiscal plan, you could really move the township forward. And that's what I think we've done over the last 4 years.
Okay, thank you, Brian. You just touched on an interesting point. Ward people have specifically defined responsibilities to their respective wards. Council large person, who is your constituents?
Everybody, the whole town.
The whole town.
But, you know, it's a different scenario than a ward council person. Ward council people are very, very upfront. They're kind of the front line, if you will, to their constituents. And not that at-large people don't get involved in that, but the ward folks are very kind of
Right.
grassroots, if
Right.
you will,
Yes, sir.
and we represent the whole town just like the mayor does. Not that we don't get involved in local issues, but at least the council people that we have right now, I know even Mr. Butler, are very, very engaged in their constituency.
Okay, thank you. Debbie, looking forward, you discussed a number of challenges that you've met, and Brian just touched on a couple of them. Going forward, new administration, what do you see as the new challenges, the biggest issues facing the township?
Well, I think we're going to continue down the path we're leading. Actually, just today we were upgraded. Moody's upgraded our financial standing
really?
to a AA1 positive outlook. So it shows we're moving the town in the right direction, and I want to continue that in the right direction with the fiscal spending.
Okay.
And like Brian had mentioned
Yeah, I was
earlier,
gonna ask you,
our
yeah.
capital improvements, we put $22 million into capital
Right.
improvements. And what's dear to my heart is now that we are actually fixing the emergency radio system that was running on Band-Aids for years.
know.
So
I
it
remember.
impacts the first aid, the police, and the fire districts as well. And it's very important for our residents to have a working radio system.
Yeah, I would think this is the one that's
Yes.
going to integrate everybody, all the
Yes,
EMS,
they'll be able to-
police,
yes,
fire, everybody
absolutely.
be integrated on the same
And
circuit.
they could contact other towns. Sometimes they're called out of district.
Okay, good.
Well,
Yes.
I think also I would
Yes,
like
please,
to add,
Anita.
and Debbie
Yeah.
pointed out many good points as well as Brian. I think when people pay property tax,
Yes, ma'am.
it's a problem for everyone because, as you know, New Jersey has some of the highest property tax
Yeah.
in the nation.
Yes.
But they have to feel that they're getting something in return for it. And I think that's what this mayor and this administration and this Republican council, and that was our platform, that if you're sending in this money, you have to know that it's being put to good use. And that's the thing that we're feeling from everyone that we talk to. They look around and they see so many positive things that are going on. As Brian touched, the curbing, we bought equipment that we can fill potholes now.
I saw it at the fair the other day.
yeah.
I was out there in its glory.
All the equipment that makes the town run more efficiently.
Right.
You have to put money back into infrastructure. Right now, if you look just at the municipal complex that has been done, and you know, we're putting a new roof on at the library.
Yes,
There was a new roof at the ice skating rink. We're getting synthetic ice so we can utilize the facility year round. People, we've walked all over town. People said, we've never saw so much activity. The clean communities,
Really?
taking pride in your town is very important. And so it's not just one thing, it's a multitude of things. And we're very impassioned about continuing on that path and working very hard. And being responsive to the residents is very important.
Okay,
And
thank
if I could
you,
just
Anita.
jump in too,
Yes, Brian,
because
please.
Debbie touched on it, and it's a really important point, the Moody's rating. Okay?
Yes, help us with that.
This is the second time in this administration we've been upgraded. okay, in the 4-year term.
What does that mean to the resident, Brian?
What it means basically is that that Moody's obviously is a bond rating company.
Right.
They look at the overall health, in this case of a municipality, and based on what they see from a management perspective and from a revenue and expense perspective, they grade the bond based on what they feel the outlook would be. So it becomes more attractive to investors, and the better the bond rating, the lower interest rate you would pay if you went out for bonds. But it's driven by, so that's kind of the technical answer, but it's driven by sound fiscal prudence, basically, sound fiscal planning. And even in the Moody's document, it talks about the fact that we do not rely on one-shot revenues, which has been a staple in this township for years and years and years. Whenever an administration got in trouble from a budgeting perspective, they'd sell land, they'd go to the MUA, they'd do all these things that were one-shot revenues with no recurring benefit. The mayor, to his credit, and the council have stayed away from that, and we've said we're not going to budget that way. We're going to pay as we go. And we've really, it's paid off in really good dividends with Moody's. So.
If I may, Brian, how did you manage that? I mean, budgeting is always a tough job. How did you manage to accomplish what you did accomplish? What kind of thought and process went into this?
Well, first of all, you hire really good people. Okay, the mayor did a great job going out and hiring terrific people to help them run the administration. And then you take some really firm stands about what you're going to do and how you're going to run the organization. And we made a lot of tough decisions at the beginning because we were left with a $7 million budget deficit. So there were some very, very difficult decisions we had to make right away in order to get the ship on track, if you will. And so by doing those, by having a little bit of pain up front, we've over time been able to stabilize it. And like I said at the beginning, we actually have a zero tax increase 2014 to 2015 on the municipal side. I know Anita wants to jump in.
Yeah,
Also with that, I would like
It's
to
all
add,
yours, go.
not only about having a flat tax this
Yes,
year,
ma'am.
which is pretty incredible in a short amount of time. I think important issue to be said is that the spending has decreased.
Right.
So we had a $56 million budget. Now it's 52 and change.
Right.
That's pretty incredible to have that efficiency, to increase services. And every department in this township has gotten, there wasn't earmarked for one department, we'll do this now. Everyone got the tools they needed to work more efficiently and to provide for the residents and do a better job. The police got a new fleet. The parking lot got paved. As Debbie said, their radio system. We got 2 new ambulances. Response time has gone down 50%. OEM got it. We can go on and on. And I think this is because we tackled it in a business-like manner and we saw what needed to be done. So the capital improvements will outreach to everybody. There's not one segment of town that will not benefit from the work that has been done.
Yeah, the
Okay,
taxpayers are
Debbie, please.
seeing a payback, like money that they send in.
Yeah.
They're actually seeing they're getting something for their money. I don't know if you've been to Geik Field. The fields there are
Just
beautiful.
recently,
And
we
the playground.
we just did a program up there with Tom Badcock.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, the playground.
Yeah.
So we are, fixing the town up, and the residents are getting some money. They see it, like the Public Works, new vehicles. They used to have holes in the floor of the vehicles.
I had a car like that at one time.
Also, our Public Works department, it's beautiful over there. And if you've been there, they take all kinds of things, mattresses,
Yes.
TVs.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, folks. Folks, we are talking to the Republican candidates for the council at large position on the Township Council. We have 2 incumbents here running for re-election and 1 newcomer, Anita. And we'll be resuming the discussion when we come back from our break. Please stay with us.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Directions 2015. Today we're talking with the Republican candidates for the council at large positions on the Township Council in the election on November 3rd. If I can reintroduce them for you, on my left, Debbie Walker, Anita Greenberg-Belli, and Brian Cahill. And again, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If we can shift gears just a little bit, one of the topics that has been very much discussed on the mayor's program is the spread of drug use and addiction in the township, particularly among young people. What's going on? Anita, you want to handle it?
I would like to start, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
please.
my running mates have something
Yeah.
to say. First of all, it's very tragic. It's
Yeah.
very sad, not only for the individual, it destroys families.
Right.
And it's a nationwide problem. And I think if anyone saw the September 21st council meeting, when there was the presentation by the Municipal Alliance,
Oh, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
with Maureen and Karen.
right,
Yes.
which is the organization that is to stop substance abuse.
Right.
And they said it all there when they said this mayor and this administration and council has been the most supportive
Yeah.
and most involved in the past 19 years that the director was involved. We take a very serious stand with that. We've partnered with the school. The school did a great presentation of it. The mayor's had multiple forums with the community and the school. Also, the police department is doing a great job. And I would urge anyone, if they see anything that is suspicious, please contact the police. It's a serious problem that's destroying our youth, and you have to be proactive. And we've made great strides with that. In fact, the mayor is going to be down at the League of Municipalities doing a program of
Yes,
it.
he
And he
mentioned.
hasn't even just isolated it to Old Bridge.
No, I know.
He's gone and spoke in neighboring towns, and because of that, he has been recognized. And it's very serious because the youth is our future, and it affects every family. It doesn't matter color, race,
Yeah.
religion, ethnicity, as far as socioeconomic. It touches on everything. And believe me, it's very sad and very tragic. And you have to start somewhere, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, the question I guess I have is why now? It seems to be more prevalent, or is it just talked about more? Or is it in fact more prevalent?
I think it is more prevalent, and I think the problem is this, that heroin especially,
Yeah.
if you imagine, it's $4 a bag.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's what it
incredible.
is.
That's incredible.
You know, it's incredible. And they get, once you, one individual could take it once and they'll be addicted.
Yeah.
And so, and it's lethal.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it's
it's sad.
It's
And
shocking.
so there's a lot that has to be done. And I'm sure that Debbie and Brian would like to add to that.
Okay, Debbie, you want to add a word or two?
The mayor and council are very committed to fighting this problem. Like Anita alluded to, it's a nationwide problem, and I don't know it's our society or it's the cheapness of the heroin, because years ago kids wouldn't think of heroin as a drug that they would possibly use. You would picture somebody in a street corner with a needle in their
Yeah,
arm.
exactly.
You know? But we are doing everything we can with the Municipal Alliance. We used to have 84 police officers. We now have 91. We have special twos out there. We're doing everything possible, and the mayor is extremely committed to fighting this.
Well, as I say, we've devoted a lot of the mayor's programs to the discussion of this issue. That's why I'm bringing it up with you. Brian, did you want to add anything?
Yeah,
to
I
that?
mean, Debbie and Anita did a really good job of laying out what we're doing. The mayor's been at the forefront of this. I'm going to take a little different tack
Sure,
because
please.
during this election cycle, this issue has been brought up as basically a campaign issue, where our opponents are using it as a political tool. And you know, when I think about, I know families that have been deeply, deeply hurt by this drug epidemic, you know, and personally, and to use this issue as some sort of political tool, I think is really just contemptuous and over the top. And I wish that, you know, that the other side would really realize what they're doing to people, and they're really hurting those folks that have really had such a horrible situation in their lives. It's really contemptuous, and I would ask that kind of nonsense stop, quite frankly. So
Okay.
they did a great job of laying it out. I just wish it didn't become a political
I
tool.
think education is very important, and that's
Yes.
why we've partnered. The mayor has partnered with the school. I think, you know, prevention, treatment. So there's a lot of components to this, and believe me, it's not easy.
No.
It's not
no,
easy
it's
at all.
definitely not easy.
And you know, I think the root of it starts where someone gets injured, they're prescribed
heard, yeah.
pain medicine, and then they get, you know, every individual is different. Everyone
Right.
has different receptors in their brain and their neurosystem that makes them respond different. They get addicted to that, and then it goes on, and it's very sad. And we would do anything that is necessary to help any family. And we don't want a family to have stigma about this. This is a real
No, that's what
problem.
Maureen's point is.
This is
Maureen's
a real
point is about the
problem.
addiction
You
and not
know,
having
we
a
want to
stigma.
direct them where they can get help, and that's the most important thing, so they can be whole again.
Okay, Anita, thank you. If I can change direction just a little bit, one of the things we've talked about too for many years here in the township is economic development. Now we have a full-time executive officer reporting to the mayor. What do you think about economic development? Are we ever going to make that real breakthrough here in the township? It's been talked about for years. We've never seemed to really get that big property, that big tract, that big business return. What do you think?
I think we're on the right track by having a full-time economic development director right now. We've never had one in the past, and right now we are just on the planning board. Next planning board, we have a 100-room hotel proposed.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's going to be big for the town, and I think we're moving in the right direction by having this director, which we've never had.
Okay. Anita?
I think his expertise already has brought a lot of small business to town,
Yes.
and I urge everyone to really frequent local business and really make them welcome in the town and support them. But with the economic development director, when you think that we are on the crossroads between 9, 34, 35, 18, you know, we should be a central place. A lot of times we have been a bedroom community, so you have to define what you want, and there is a balance between residential and business, but certainly with the corridors that we have, there is areas to bring in good business, and I think we're on track to do that, and you'll see some very positive things in the future, and that's what we're all working towards.
Yeah, if I could just add,
Thank you.
Gene.
Yes, please,
So,
Brian.
you know, I think, and they did a great job describing where we're at. I think we're well on our way. If you look at the amount of businesses that the mayor has cut ribbons on, I believe it's
know.
been
We've
about
been out for a few of
22.
them.
If you stop by Old Bridge Day and
Right.
saw the economic development booth, there's about 22
Yes.
businesses he's cut a ribbon on. Those are new businesses coming into town. The mayor has been at the forefront of trying to bring businesses in town, not only just being a visible presence, but also improving the township's infrastructure and how we operate within the township.
Right.
So it makes it easier to bring businesses in, more attractive to businesses to come in. So I think this is just the beginning. You know, and again, it starts with good management,
Right.
And the township and people that want to come to this town see it's a good town to live in, a good town to work in, a good town to grow, and that's all part of the process. So it's a multifaceted solution to it.
Yeah, well, I think I've heard the expression, not only should Old Bridge be business ready, but it should be business friendly.
Absolutely.
And I think that is seeming to change with,
right.
as you said, all the ribbon cutting. And I think, personally, I think one of the big home runs for the township has been the growth of the hospital.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
That's terrific
Yeah.
facility.
Years ago, it was always a bump and bruise kind of
Right.
hospital.
Yes.
Right.
Now it's really developed with Meridian coming in. Now it's a force.
The new
between
building is
Freehold
beautiful.
State of the art.
and New
beautiful.
Brunswick.
Yes.
It's state of the art. It's great.
Right.
We've been over there a number of times.
And
too.
they have wonderful programs. I encourage people to get
Yeah.
involved and go to some of the programs that they have also.
Well, we've been involved in some of this. We're going to continue to do more of that kind of thing. Thank you. When you walk around the township, and I know you're out knocking on doors, what are you
we
hearing
are.
from the what are you hearing from the voters? What are they telling you?
They're very happy. They're happy because they see tangible results. They can see in their tax bill
Right.
the results. They can see the streets are getting fixed. They see the
Right.
curbs are getting fixed. To Anita's point, she rattled off a lot of the capital improvements. She sees the new police vehicles. They can see and feel a tangible result in the township. And the thought that the feelings I get from people is keep it going. You guys have turned
Really?
a corner.
Okay.
You got to keep it going, keep that trajectory going. You're doing the right thing. It's very rewarding to knock on somebody's door and have them say, I
bet
know
it
who you
is.
are,
Yeah.
and you're doing a great job, and keep it up. That, to me, is terrific.
Anita, what would they like changed? What would they like done differently or better?
Well, first of all, I would have to reiterate that they are very happy with
That's
the things that are
fantastic,
going
yeah.
on, and we're very enthusiastic
Sure.
about that. And you can't sit idle. There's always something new
Yeah.
to do, and things are
Right.
changing all the time.
Right.
And I think the thing that they realize also, we're responsive. If they reach out to us, we get back to them. And sometimes the answer, it can't be done. But
Yeah.
I think communication is key, and explaining what is also going on. And a lot of people don't realize some of the things that are going on. So really having a forum where they understand why things happen in a certain sequence, I think that's very important. As far as everyone feels right now, finances are important, and if they're paying these taxes, they want to see
Wanna
return
see
from that.
results. Okay.
And simple things, even simple things in some of the dangerous intersections, just the blinking stop signs we've had,
Yeah.
they've made such a positive impact on neighborhoods. The traffic details that are going on, to control speeding.
Right.
And, if they are having a speeding problem, they know it will be addressed and there'll be a detail out there to oversee it. So engaging with the public is very important and finding out what their concerns are.
Okay, thank you, Anita. Debbie, what are you hearing?
I concur with
You
Anita
concur?
and Brian as far as knocking on doors. I'm not nervous to go up to the door
Right.
because I'm proud of our
Yeah.
record. And we are getting such a good response. In fact,
Yeah.
yesterday, the neighborhood we were walking in, the roads had just been paved. So they were very happy to see
Yeah.
us. And people are seeing the improvements, and we're really getting an enthusiastic response from the people. And when we're explaining about the flat tax, very happy about that too.
Okay, well, good. And folks, we're coming close to the end of this program, but before we go, I want to ask these council candidates to give you a little background on them, why you should vote for them, what their greatest strength is. I'm going to ask each of them to look into the camera, why you should vote for Brian Cahill. If I can start with you, Brian, camera 3. Why
Sure.
should people vote for you? What strength do you bring?
Well, again, thanks for doing this, Gene. It's a great venue to get our message out. So I'm a twice elected council person, and every time I voted for the residents. I voted with the residents in mind to ensure that every time I vote, we're making sure that we take care of your tax money and we provide you the best quality for the taxes you've paid for. I'd like to continue that, along with Mayor Henry's leadership and Anita and Debbie and the rest of the council people. I'd like to continue that trajectory, which I think is a positive one. I think we've done a terrific job here, and we want to continue to provide those kinds of service to you and your families. So vote line A.
Line A, that's
on
what my
November
next question.
3rd.
Good.
Line A all the way is
Okay,
our
thank
motto.
you, Brian. Anita?
Yes, first of all, Jean, I want to thank you also for having
No, our
this
pleasure,
forum.
really.
And I want to thank the residents for watching. We are committed to making sure that your local government is efficient and responsible, fiscally responsible, and responsive to the residents. We bring forward a good work ethic, experience, a sound track record of accomplishments, and we have the tenacity to solve problems. We would be honored for your support on November 3rd, and we ask for your vote. It would be very much appreciated. You will find us in column A all the way, and I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anita. And Debbie, I'm going to give you the last word here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jean, for having us. I'm running for my second term, and I hope to get reelected because I want to continue with the work that we've been doing. When we took office, we were hanging on the edge of a fiscal cliff. We pulled ourselves off. We're in the right direction right now. We don't want to go backwards. And I'm also very proud of our clean communities. I started with Mary Sohor. Grant money was being wasted, but now we're cleaning the streets and giving money back to like baseball teams and Cub Scouts, so we're putting back the community. So I like to say that not only we cleaned up the town fiscally, we cleaned up the town literally. And we want to continue on this path. Thank you.
Okay, very well. I want to thank you all for taking the time to come in here today. I want to wish you the best luck out there.
Thanks,
And
Jean.
folks, we've been talking with the 3 candidates just to reintroduce them to you and help you match a name with a face, which is one of the functions of this program frequently. People see candidates in the store, they see them at church, they see them in a supermarket, and they say, oh, that's Debbie Walker. I didn't realize that. So again, introducing them, Debbie Walker on my left, Anita Greenberg-Belli, and Brian Cahill. Republican candidates, council large seats on November 3rd, and whatever your political preference, please take the time out to vote on November 3rd. One vote can make a difference. I want to thank you for watching. I'm Gene McLaughlin, and we'll see you again on another Directions program. Take care.